Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of your favorite professional wrestling program on the internet. That's right, folks. It's time for JWF Defiance. I am your host, Scottye Moore, joined for the first time in a long time, happily, by the man known as Captain Tibbs.
You're damn right, Scottye. I'm back, and I'm not stopping.
Well, you got to come back to JWF Ignition, and I know it was not the best episode for you. You found out that the Hammer Man was behind your vicious assault, and also you had to listen to that terrible episode of Wrestle Wars, but now you are here for Defiance, and you get to watch this hell of an opening matchup in the J1 tournament as I'm used to say commentary partner, but I can also now say tag team partner himself, Blake Tanner, is going to face off against the king of Flavortown himself, Guy Fieri.
Well, Scottye, I'll tell you, I'm glad to get back to just watching some wrestling, commentating over it, and putting those horrible, heartbreaking things that happened last week to bed so I can forget about them, which we will have to deal with next week on Ignition. I just hope you all know. But for now, we're going to watch this great match, J1 tournament, Blake Tanner versus Guy Fieri.
That's right. Not only is it going to be dealt with next week on Ignition, it's going to be dealt with somewhat tonight. I've been told Chuck is going to try to confront the Hammer Man in the main event. You're going to have a matchup between those two. I mean, your son Chuck has certainly been almost taking the family business into his own hands lately.
Well, you know, honestly, he had to take that initiative at some point or another. I'm not going to be around forever, you know. I'm going to be around for a lot longer than you might think, but not forever.
That is right. But now, Blake Tanner back in action. And I'll be honest with you, Tibbs. I think Blake is going to be bringing one hell of a fight tonight. I mean, he lost his JWF Defiant title in the main event last week to the man known as Chuck Gibbons. Blake is certainly going to be looking for a comeback tonight, despite the fact he probably needs to take a damn week off at this point.
Well, I don't know if what happened to me, if that had happened to me, or I'd had a great victory over someone like Momoa Curry, to have it stained and tarnished like that by someone cashing in and defeating me for my championship, I'd want to get right back on the horse, and I think that's what Blake Tanner wants to do.
That is right, and I know for the longest time I was certainly one of the advocates that Blake Tanner is overworking himself, and I'm going to remain that kind of advocate, even as he's now my tag team partner once again, because now even worse, it's my ass on the line as well. But 1, 2, ooh, he nearly gets a victory off of that bee sting. But I don't think I have much room to talk tonight, because I will be fighting as well against an old foe, the man known as Griffin. Clouds, what a Blakeout. Drags him away from those ropes. Blake looking to end things early, goes for the pinfall. 1, 2. Ooh, Fieri kicking out once again.
Guy Fieri. Blake Tanner wanting to end this really quickly, but forgetting about the resistance of Guy Fieri. He can kick out of so much. You're gonna have to really put the punishment on the man.
That is right, but now Fieri picking Blake up, and that is, if you're gonna talk about the resiliency of Fieri, why don't you talk about the strength of Fieri? Even after everything that Blake Tanner has put on him, being able to just pick him up and then reverse that suplex into just a massive headbutt.
Exactly. You can see Guy Fieri, he can work his center of gravity to be almost unpick-upable.
That is right. I think you could just say heavy, but unpick-upable also could be an attribute, I assume.
Yeah, I think it sounds much more interesting.
In JWF 2K22, one of your abilities, pick-up ability, goes for, hits that big spear is Fieri. 1, 2, kicking out is Blake, and once again, this is the thing about a lot of these champions like Fieri, like Blake. They really like proving their strength. They don't like taking the easy way out. And for Blake, who was that close to a rope break, choosing to kick out again could lead to disastrous results. 1, 2, and it could have been a pinfall right there, because Fieri hit that big food fight, and I'll be honest, I thought it was all over.
And after last week, let's be honest, I mean, Blake was in 2 brutal, grueling matches. I mean, He took strikes directly from Momoa Curry, 2 spears. And then after that, Chuck Gibbons putting his entire offense onto Blake Tanner's body. I mean, he's got to still be feeling the effects of that.
Oh, and he'll be certainly feeling the effects of that tomorrow. That delayed stalling suplex from Fieri. And that's not just going to cause damage to the lower back. That's also holding your opponent upside down, letting the blood rush to the head. That is going to delay the equilibrium of Blake Tanner severely.
Very much so, especially when you're recovering from certain injuries. Sometimes it's easy to get kind of lost into a fog.
1, 2... Oh, barely kicking out as Blake after Fieri hit that vicious spear, which you've already said. Blake has gotten 2 of them from the master of the maneuver himself, Momoa Curry. But wait a minute. Oh, reverses that attempt at the food fight into a big reverse DDT before backing up, putting the end on it. What a Blake out! Falls into the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, and you can tell that was a desperation maneuver on the part of Blake Tanner at that point, Tibbs. I mean, Blake had eaten so much punishment that, in my opinion, I think he just said, I gotta do what I can and do it as soon as possible.
But he also did it with a move that he is famous for. He was able to get in that position and finally put an end to this thing. I think that Blake's trying to do his best, just getting back on that horse, and he did it well tonight.
That's right, but you can see that disappointed look on the face of Guy Fieri, because unfortunately that has mathematically eliminated him from victory in the J1. So you gotta think Fieri is furious at himself tonight. But of course, as far as Blake Tanner is concerned, me and him will be opening next week's episode of JWF Ignition. That's right, the BS is back, and a brand new episode of A Load of BS will be coming to you live on Ignition next week. And also, Blake will be coming back to the commentary booth right here. But unfortunately, you are having to look at this bunch of idiots.
Oh, they're back again, huh? God, Guy Fieri, my ribs cry for you.
That is right. But, I mean, this matchup now is no longer just Tiffany. After Tiffany viciously assaulted the women's champion, Phoenix Driver, after her match last week, well, opponent and challenger and champion decided to team up. Phoenix Driver and Skylla facing off against Tiffany, and of course, Auntie Karen, as she is known.
Really call her Auntie Karen?
It's insufferable. It's literally the worst, and you can see joining them is, of course, Tiffany's on again, off again boyfriend, the man known as Mark Plays, a man who is certainly looking to make his mark in this year's J1 tournament as well. He has been almost completely dominating Block B. The only person who's really been able to stand in his way is the Jebeduk, a man who Mark has been trying his best to get in the head of ever since this tournament was announced.
And of course, you can see Tiffany drinking her reverse osmosis super mineralated water that she drinks before every match.
That's right, with special fancy mushrooms in it, I've been told. They said it's mushrooms that let you use 100% of your brain power, and tried to tell Tiffany that wasn't how that works, and she just slapped me. Wasn't a fan of it.
No, that's the... You know what, that's fucking weird, because I asked her, like, when she wanted her match to be scheduled last week, and then she just slapped me and walked away.
It's weird, I was walking by her in the hallway, and she just slapped me.
I was at my desk yesterday, and she just came into the office and slapped me.
I wasn't even at the arena. I was at a Little Caesars picking up dinner, and then she just slapped me.
Oh, now she's coming down to the commentary booth right now. She just slapped us.
Shit!
God damn.
It's a hell of a slap. God.
Fuck.
Well, but here's a woman who's hopefully going to get some revenge for those slaps for us in the form of the women's champion, Phoenix Driver, who is doing some fun maneuvers on the... Are you... What was that little strut, Phoenix?
I don't know. Phoenix is just leaning all into this championship thing, isn't she? She's gonna have a good time.
God, that belt, you know, like Goldberg looks really good with the WCW title, and like Punk looked great with like the spinner belt. Like certain belts just work for certain people. That belt looks like it belongs around the waist of Phoenix Driver.
It really does. Like that whole, it's just that, like the colors match perfectly. I mean, it fits her aesthetic.
That's right, and the team of Red U for Filth, Phoenix Driver and Tiffany. I'm sorry, Phoenix Driver and Skylla reuniting tonight. Sorry, I puked in my mouth a little bit because I saw Karen Busch again. My bad. She is haunt. So, okay. Mini episode of Breaking the Fabe here. I deleted Ultimate Karen and had to remake her, which is why Karen Busch looks a lot different from the Ultimate Karen. And I made it worse. Like, I went even worse than she was before, I think.
Like, you went all in on just making her the worst.
Yeah, I nailed the prompt, I believe.
Every attribute that makes a human being terrible, you've done it.
That's right, but now Skylla bouncing off the ropes. Oh, Hurricane Rana straight into the mat. Kneeling one at that. And you got to think that's going to affect the cranium a lot more. Normal Hurricane Rana usually allows you to get a full backflip, but not this. And now look at this. Team Red. Beautiful tandem drop kicks taking out Tiffany. And both of these women, you know, have been wanting some revenge on the influencer ever since that assault last week.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, revenge is sweet, as some say.
That is correct. But now she is tagging in the woman known as Karen Busch, who just immediately slings the champion across the ring. And God, Karen, you gotta think, I'm shocked she's even wrestling at this point. She came out to quote-unquote assist Tiffany in her match a couple of weeks ago, and then just decided to disappear off to the minivan halfway through the match. In my opinion, I think Karen Busch, as much as I am not a fan of Tiffany, may just be using the poor girl.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like she might have something that would let her get the opportunity to win a championship if she wanted to, if she was in the right position. You know, that sounds so familiar to me, and I can't quite place it.
You know what I realized about halfway through you getting your shit pushed in by Chuck Gibbons?
What?
Which, I mean, we're gonna have to let that elephant walk around the room and talk about it for a few. You did lose your Defiant title after a cash-in. What I realized is that of the like 5 cash-ins that have happened in JWF history, 3 of them have happened to you.
Fuck, you're right. Why?
Let's see. Griffin Clouds at Summerfest in like 2017. Brunch Boy Barrett at Heck in a Sack 2018. And now Chuck Gibbons on Defiance 2022.
It's been 4 years. I let my guard down. That's all that happened.
I was in one of them and I was involved in the other 2 now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because I cashed in WrestlePalooza and then Chuck cashed in on me. We gotta get this fucking briefcase away from us, bud.
I try to get it away from me. You try to get it to you.
Oh, God, Spear.
As a matter of fact, I recall trying to win it one year so nobody could cash in on me.
Yeah, I don't think you even had a belt at that point. You were just like, just in case. I just want to make sure I don't have this happen to me. But yes, Karen Busch does have that cash in the bag briefcase, which makes her a nightmare for people like Phoenix Driver, aka the champion of the women's division here in the JWF, but she hits the Phoenix effect. All right, and then front headlock before turning it around into a big neck breaker. Karen Busch just buttering up the champion for a pinfall. And look at that, immediately handing things over to Tiffany to finish things off. And you got to think, if you're Karen Busch, that is just prepping yourself for not failing. And if Karen went for a pinfall, yes, she could have got it over the champion, but instead, just give it to let Tiffany try it out. And if she fails, then it's no longer her fault.
No, exactly. I mean, really, this is all about Tiffany.
She's the worst, and immediately gets lariatoed out of her boots by...
And we can say this right now because she can't actively slap us.
That is right. Oh, but now, wait a minute. Ducks out of that attempt at a grapple, and then Phoenix, plucks her out of midair before picking her up and sending her down. The C4 takes her out.
Watching Phoenix just do awesome things really does just brighten my day.
You like how she stopped doing things as soon as you said that?
Yeah.
Oh, but it looks like she's gonna do something now. She heard me. Rainmaker levels Tiffany. Are we about to get a little preview of WrestlePalooza 2? What? Mark, no!
Mark.
And it sucks because Skylla perfectly stopped it. Oh, wait, Skylla's now helping out. Powerbomb.
Skylla, get him, Skylla, yes!
And it's not done. Let's go, boys.
Let's fucking go.
Rainmaker goes for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3!
Yes! Yes!
I love when the game does cool shit. Let's go, baby! Yes!
No, we still have 3 matches. Don't jinx it.
It's fine. It'll be fine. And I'm in one of them, so, not exactly. I'm up next, so I probably do need to get to the ring soon, but I do need to just discuss how good of a fucking ending that was.
It was fucking great. That was amazing. That's everything that you expect to see from your amazing women's champion, Phoenix fucking Driver.
That is right, but Phoenix will not have help at WrestlePalooza. Can she topple Tiffany in one-on-one action? Well, that remains to be seen, and it also remains to be seen when I kick Griffin Cloud's ass in a couple of minutes, because it's time for my match, not the main event.
So that's fine. We'll see you. And joining me for Scottye's match tonight, we have none other than Silver Spoon, commentator on JWF Ignition. How you doing tonight, Spoon?
I am here. How do you boys do this? I'm sorry. It's just like suddenly I'm in my room watching my Blockbuster videos, relaxing. And then suddenly I've been transported, instant transmissions, you could say, here into the JWF arena. But I'm here for one hell of a matchup, I will say, as Griffin Clouds takes on your tag team partner. I'm so happy to be able to say that again, Scottye Moore. And we know the history of the BS and the VWO.
Exactly. Nobody could tell you more about that history than myself or Scottye could. I mean, we have gone to war against the VWO in the distant past at this point now, and now that Defiance has rolled around, we find a lot of old feuds reigniting, a lot of old battles coming back up around, and in this J1 tournament match tonight, it is Scottye Moore against Griffin Clouds.
That is right, but interestingly enough, this is a combination. I mean, Griffin talked about it on Ignition. This is a combination of the BS and VWO that you have never seen fight before, at least not to my memory. I cannot think of any time on such a high-profile stage we have seen Griffin Clouds and Scottye Moore go toe-to-toe. I mean, you and Griffin fought for the JWF Championship. We have seen Scottye and Justin go toe-to-toe in the past. Just about every combination there could be, there has been, except for this matchup tonight.
Which is very surprising, because when you think about it, the BS, the VWO, Scottye and Griffin are more birds of a feather. They can be extremely cerebral at times, and they tend to try to get under their opponent's skin more often than not. Which I always found very interesting that they never just matched up. Because it would have been some amazing mind games.
That is right, but wait a minute. Scottye looking to finish things off early. Big suplex before. Oh, plucks him up and drops him down straight onto his skull. Oh my God.
Oh, yep, that is exactly what I would expect to see Scottye to do. Bring that ferociousness in against Griffin Clouds. Really just try to get under his skin in that way that there's no hope that it feels like that you could defeat him.
Oh, and then a big boot to follow things up. Goes for the pinfall. One. Kicks out at one. That might have been a little bit of mind game. Scottye utilizing that big hammer boot that Griffin's brother, the Hammer Man, likes to utilize. Might be throwing a shot across the bow. Maybe calling him out for his brother's actions as of late. Goes for the pinfall. 1, 2. Oh, nearly gets the pinfall off of that SMG. But interestingly enough about this matchup, both of these competitors only have one loss in this year's J1 tournament, and it is, of course, to you, Blake. I mean, Griffin has been defeated by you, Scottye as well, but outside of that, they've both been undefeated, and they both are looking to keep that victorious streak going, especially as Griffin gets him up and drops him down under Vapor. Falls into the pinfall. 1, 2. Kicking out at 2 is Scottye Moore.
Yeah, but you can see that has compressed Scottye's neck. That dropped him right onto his skull. That is not something that you could get out of easily.
And that splash just to follow things up. You can saw Griffin almost fully spread eagle, for lack of a better term, as he hit that splash. That just shows Scottye Moore is dazed right now. I mean, Griffin made himself a very large target coming off the top. Usually you'd get the knees up for that kind of situation. But Scottye Moore, something is off. He is dazed. He is confused. He has been dropped with the Clouds Happy Meal and is now just getting his neck put to work.
Exactly. You could see, I mean, Griffin's already used that under Vapor once. Now that he's compressed the neck, now that he's hit Scottye right on the cranium, he's just trying to suck all of the oxygen away from his head and make him pass out.
That is right. You see him just being tossed to the side and then once again picked up. But no, the hero of the JWF reverses it under Vapor of his own, but he's not done. Looking to finish things off with another SMG. No, Griffin fights out of it. Goes for the boot. Scottye reverses and then floats over. DDT from Griffin Clouds.
Oh, that was a quick sequence right there. You weren't really sure who was going to be getting the upper hand, but Griffin with that quick DDT, he just looks like he cinched it.
That's right, and once again hits that backbreaker, neckbreaker combination, goes for the pinfall. That has been proving deadly for Griffin in this tournament too. Oh, Scottye kicking out at 2.
Exactly. Scottye's not ready to give up yet. Scottye's going to have a lot more fight left in him.
Well, not if Griffin Clouds has anything to say about it, because he's been picked up once again. The blood rushes to the head as it gets slammed into the mat under Vapor. 1, 2, 3. And it looks like Griffin Clouds now proving himself to be the man to beat in the J1 tournament. Outside of course, yourself, Blake, Griffin has been proving to be a dangerous competitor for whoever awaits him in the future, including the man known as the hero of the JWF.
That is true. Griffin Clouds on a resurgence right now. He's doing some of the best match work he has in his life, and I am gonna say I am surprised by this outcome, but at the end of the day, Griffin Clouds is still one of the best in this company.
That is right. I mean, let's not forget, he's also no stranger to winning tournaments, even winning the King of the Steel City tournament a few years back and almost winning the JWF Championship, piggybacking off of that victory. But he is certainly standing tall tonight, and I'll be honest, you may be undefeated right now, Blake, but I'd be afraid for your future, as it were.
That could very well happen, Sills, but thank you for joining us tonight. I'll send you back home to watch those Blockbuster videos.
Oh, hey, JoJo. What's up, JoJo? Congrats on the engagement.
I'm glad you could work here tonight for our main event.
Fuck. You know, I think I just got like a concussion, and yet seeing him is the worst part of my night so far.
I get that. I get that. I would rather lose my championship again than have to see his face.
Yeah, AJ Steele, the man with the proverbial body of steel, the host of Wrestle Wars, but you know who I am absolutely delighted to see this man, our JWF Captain's Champion himself, the man known as Crush Atlas, who, let's not forget, this match started a couple of weeks ago. Crush was being interviewed, and his interview was cut short by an episode of Wrestle Wars. And the Captain's Champion, don't take no disrespect, so he did what any sane person would do and take AJ Steele and beat the shit out of him and destroy the set of his show.
I'm surprised more people haven't done that, to be completely honest.
Well, but that is what they are fighting for tonight, that Captain's Championship. You could say the set of Wrestle Wars might have been destroyed, but AJ Steele certainly got what he wanted, and it was an opportunity for the Captain's Championship. Of course, AJ on this week's episode of Wrestle Wars, which I unfortunately had to listen to, he announced that this matchup would be taking place, that he wanted to bring gold back to his show, but I gotta say, I don't think Crush Atlas is gonna let that happen.
No, if there's anybody who could put a stop to this nonsense, to the nonsense of AJ Steele, it is Crush Atlas.
That is right, and you can see him holding that belt high, and you gotta think this is just gotta be another step in this alleged war AJ Steele is trying to lead against the, I guess I'll call them the newcomers, the men who have not been in JWF that long. Guys like Big Fistin', like Crush Atlas. Hold it high, Tommy! The men known as AJ Steele, Bananas and Pajamas, they have not been fully accepting of these new competitors, and they have been trying to lead a war against them, which is why on next week's episode of Ignition, they've declared that they want a summit and have invited former JXT superstars out to quote-unquote apologize to them and leave the company forever. And I'll be honest, as two of the coaches in JXT, I gotta say, I don't think we taught anybody who's willing to quit.
No, as a matter of fact, I would say that's in the roughly thorough bullshit category that I told them to watch out for.
That is right, but you can see AJ Steele wasting no time putting that body of steel to good work. And let's not forget, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Bananas and Pajamas defeat those newcomers, Big Fistin', in a matchup. And in that one, we chalked it up to one thing and one thing only: experience. And it looks like that is what's allowing AJ Steele to dominate one of our most dominating champions.
I mean,
goes for the pinfall. One, kicks out of it. Let's not forget, AJ, of course, a former Defiant champion. A title that has already built up a huge lineage with yourself as a former champion, Falcor the Stoppable, now Chuck Gibbons. And that all began with AJ Steele.
Am I the longest reigning Defiant champion at this point?
I actually, wow, are you? Wow, I think you are now that I think about it. Goes for the pinfall. One, kicks out of it.
Well, Crush Atlas is definitely putting his chips in to be one of our longest reigning Captain's champions at this point, and I hope that he can cement that further with a win over AJ Steele, because man, fuck that guy.
That is right, but now AJ pulling Crush back to his feet, and we've seen Crush have some heavy matches with some heavy competitors, but I think you're right, AJ Steele may prove to be his biggest challenge thus far, bringing the champ back to his feet, and then, oh, look at that, reverses it into a big shoulder tackle before, oh, look at that, even Crush struggled, but he manages to get that body of steel up and slammed down with a powerbomb. One, oh, kicks out at one. And this is the one advantage of a man like AJ Steele. That massive body of steel of his is the fact that Tommy has to rearrange himself to be able to see both shoulders. As one of the advantages of being big, I've just realized.
A normal human point of view won't be able to easily see both. I'm not even sure I can tell where AJ Steele's shoulders are.
Spear! Well, they're about to be pinned to the mat after that vicious spear goes for the pinfall off of it. One, two. Ooh, kicking out, though. Kicking out.
I wonder, if AJ Steele has so much muscle in his back that his shoulders are so difficult to put pinned to the mat.
I don't know, but I don't need him to go to the mat right now. Instead, I need AJ Steele to get... No! Reverses the chopper! Reverses the chopper! Got him up! Oh my God, God style pile driver! Kaze knee AJ, who's backed up into that corner. Oh no, could we see it? We have seen this vicious kick before. Straight to the cranium! And oh no, the steel beam is what is awaiting the man known as Crush Atlas. And it looks like, oh no, this has ended careers. No, fights back, spear!
Spear!
Spear! Spear!
Pocket spear! Pocket spear out of nowhere!
Goes for it, 1, 2! Kick it out as AJ Steele. This match just got this crowd going from 6 to midnight, ladies and gentlemen, because Crush Atlas is coming back and he is putting the hurting on AJ Steele. Oh, but look at that, sweeping the legs. It's AJ Steele once again who goes to the outside of the ring. And what the hell is AJ Steele thinking?
I don't know. This is a sanctioned match. If he does that...
Oh! Was trying to hit him with that bat, but instead gets dropped by Atlas! Dropped by Atlas!
Right onto the bat!
Oh, but Atlas fights back, or I'm sorry, AJ fights back. Back body dropping. Crush Atlas. Oh, but Crush fights back, and he's got AJ! He's got AJ set up! Right on top of that bat, you cheating bastard! Get to the chopper! Goes for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3.
Fuck yeah, bud.
Let's fucking go, boys. That was great. Oh, but wait a minute. Look at that. What the hell? AJ getting back to his feet. Almost chasing off. Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Leave Tommy alone, you son of a bitch.
This disrespectful asshole coming out here. But now it's time for our main event where a man who, I'll be honest, I did not think was capable of such actions is going to get retribution because the Hammer Man has returned. And he's going to have to face the consequences of that man, Chuck Tibbs, who's holding the steel pipe that attacked Captain Tibbs, but I guess he just stole that from the Hammer Man, and he's given the Hammer Man a taste of his own medicine. But wait a minute, Hammer Man fights back. He's
got to definitely be going for revenge against Chuck, although I don't know why Chuck would do that.
Oh, big clothesline. Chuck Tibbs wanting to give Hammer Man a taste of his own medicine, but unfortunately it looks like it has backfired because the Hammer Man is just violently defending himself, I guess. Big elbow drop. And then, oh, it just destroys him. I can't believe...
self-defense, right?
Meteora lays him out, and the Hammer Man, the Hammer Man was despicable in what he just did to Chuck Tibbs. He violently assaulted him, right?
In self-defense, but he didn't do anything.
I'm not sure, but I guess we're going to hear what happens involving the Hammer Man next time on JWF Ignition after that vicious beatdown of the man known as Chuck Tibbs, that violent, horrid assault, I guess. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, he's been Blake Tanner, I've been Scottye Moore, we are the BS, and this is Defiance.